We are back, folks. We are back, and it is a good week to come back. Jeremy Huber here with you on the final drive on DMVSTREAM.com, back after our 2-week hiatus. And boy, did we pick a week to come back. Plenty of upsets this week around the DMV. We'll get you up to date on every single one of them, but we're lucky enough to have one of the coaches from one of the teams who pulled the upset tonight. It is the head coach of the West Potomac Wolverines, Jeremiah Ross. His team knocks off South County tonight in a 24-21 matchup. Coach Ross, congratulations on the big win.
Oh, thank you very much. It was a great team win. Just hats off to our guys. They played their tails off, and I'm excited for them, and it's a great game.
Yeah, it seemed like it kind of a back-and-forth affair tonight with two very good offensive teams. Really kind of surprising, I think, it stayed where the points did tonight, only 24-21. Talk about the grit your guys showed in that game.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the first half, it really was shaping up like that. We were going down the field. They were going down the field. And I think it was 24-14 at halftime. And, so we were making big plays. I mean, Mark Ellis, Brandon Lisenby, Damon Cleveland, popping off some, nice runs. And then, and defensively making a few stops, holding the 14. And then, second half, hats off to South County, making some defensive adjustments, made it a little bit tougher on our skilled kids to be able to make some plays. And, but our defense just stepped up in that second half. They made some huge plays. We had a, scoop and not quite score, and, South County stopped us, but then, make a pick there to seal it. I mean, multiple stops in the second half, and we're really able to kind of, keep their, that offense down, I mean, they're, so explosive with the guys they have there with Spalding and then number one, and the quarterback does a great job in getting the ball out, and they've been scoring a lot of points. So, just my hats off to our defense in the second half. They really played their tails off and made the plays when we needed to, when we weren't able to kind of punch some things in offensively in the second half. So it was really fun to see those guys play and to finish it on the defensive end.
Yeah, you talk Eric Roach's big pick there, but you also talk about the strip and advance and at least kind of put field position in your favor. Let's get back to the offense, though. Of course, you got a really good quarterback in Ellis. Talk about him. Get 3 touchdowns tonight, actually early on at 3 touchdowns. What he brings to your team.
Yeah, I mean, Mark is, he runs the offense. It's 3 years now that, I've been here 3 and been with Mark now 3 years. And, Coach Matuzak, our offensive coordinator, does a great job in getting those guys on the same page. And, he's able to do a lot of great things. Great with the deep ball and just orchestrating the offense. He does a great job, put the ball out there for guys like Brandon Lisenby and Khalil Williams, to make plays with. We had another touchdown there at the end. We ended up getting a holding call, unfortunately. But he banged another great one there with about 2.5 that could have sealed it. And, but he's a leader. He does a great job, and, he's a fun guy to coach.
Yeah, most definitely. Talking to Jeremiah Ross, head coach of West Potomac, get the upset win over South County tonight. Coach, it was interesting. I think some people were surprised last week. You dropped one to a T.C. Williams team who's played some really tough teams this year and played them really tough. Mm-hmm. They're a physical squad. Do you think at all that maybe you guys got caught looking forward to last week, and maybe did South County get caught looking forward past you guys at all, or you think it was just, good football all the way around?
I think, you look at it, you got to play each week, shoot, I was depressed about last week. It was everybody else. And then I'm watching football during the weekend. I'm watching Penn State beat Ohio State, watching some of these other teams go down. And that's why you got to play the game, and we were, we really squandered a lot of things in that game. Again, hats off to TC for finding a way to win. But we knew we didn't play our best game. The thing that we always try to focus on, because, we'll play some really good teams throughout the year and some that maybe not. It's about how we, execute and how we play. We never judge ourselves off a win or a loss. We judge ourselves on how we play. You know, do we do our job? Do we play hard? Are we physical? You know, those are the things that we control, and that's what, you know, we do to our best of our ability. And if we do that, you know, win, lose, or draw, I'm happy for our guys. Last week, I don't think we did that. You know, and with that being said, you know, it was kind of a wake-up call for us. Maybe we got caught looking for it, but we really tried not to, you know. I mean, we're trying to go 1-0 each week, and, you know, that's kind of the mantra that I've said. And, you know, that was drilled in me back in my days at Fresno State under Pat Hill, and just 1-0 each week. And, you know, that's what we talk about. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, South County, maybe. I mean, they saw us, you know, they obviously beat TC pretty well, but I was at that game. TC played them tough, and then, you know, it was a 5-minute stretch where South County goes off like they can do, and that was the difference in the game. TC physically was matching up right with them. You know, I mean, they're just, you know, they don't quite have all the pieces yet. I mean, TC's coach there is doing a great job getting that thing going with the talent they have. And, you know, it's just one of those games. We didn't play to our ability. And, you know, I'm sure South County look at it like, you know, they could have done some things tonight. I mean, it's a crazy game. It's never perfect. And, you know, you got to focus on what we do, you know, play in and play out. So, you know, I mean, that's, you know, I just felt like our guys matched up well this week, and we just had to get back at it and play. You know, I'm just, again, proud of our guys, the way they played, proud of our coaches, the way they prepared, and, you know, happy for the win.
Coach, you know, since I started doing this show 3 years ago, I remember at the beginning of it, really your conference, it was all about South County and all about Lake Braddock. And you guys have come up, and some of the other programs have come up and really made this into a competitive conference. How have you kind of seen this from your eyes, the development of your league and where it kind of stacks up with the rest of the conferences in Northern Virginia?
Yeah, I mean, I think it stacks right up there with any of them, you know. And I think, you know, unfortunately, like last year in the playoffs, they made us play each other because of the way the PowerPoints landed. You know, we were all playing each other again in the first and second round. You know, last year it was West Springfield and South County for us in 2 rounds of playoffs, you know, where you'd love to stack up and see how you stack up against, you know, some teams out west and north and things like that, you know. So you just never know with the PowerPoints. But, yeah, I mean, you look at, I mean, the coaching in this conference, you know, has really grown. You know, I mean, and again, it's got to be even tougher. Like, you know, I think coming in, there was still a couple teams down. You know, my first year or two kind of building it. And then this year, I mean, now you got, you know, TC's playing better, Mount Vernon's playing better. You know, I mean, all these guys are, you know, it's tough. You know what I mean? So it's week in, week out. You know, and again, that's, you know, just like last week. You know, that, and, you know, most people would have thought we'd win that game, but, you know, that's a tough team. It's a well-coached team. It's just well-coached. A lot of people play hard. And, you know, yeah, I think it's a very competitive conference. I think it stacks right up there with anybody else's conference. And, you know, so it's fun to play in. You know, week in, week out, it's a battle.
Coach, you get the one last one against Mount Vernon. They took one on the chin tonight. Obviously, they're going to be looking for a little bit of a bounce back against you guys. And I don't want you to look too far ahead, but how do you see your team stacking up when it comes to playoff time? Obviously, right now, you're kind of in the middle of the pack, and what is stacking up, considering the way people have knocked each other off this year, what could be a wild 6A North playoffs. How do you think your team fits in the race?
You know, I was telling our kids this all week. I was telling them tonight. You know, I mean, I think we're good enough to beat any team out there, but we're also bad enough at times to lose to any of them if we play poorly. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, I think we have the talent to stack up against anybody. I mean, we have positives and negatives in what we do. You know, so I mean, there's certain areas that, you know, another team might have an advantage on us, and there's certain areas we're going to have an advantage on them. You know, and it's just, you know, can we capitalize on the advantages that we have more than they can again, than they do. And I think, you know, again, I think there is a lot of parity this year. A lot of it's just matchups, how you match up with certain teams, and you know, so I think, you know, but again, you know, it's just like you mentioned. I mean, we got to focus on Mount Vernon. You know, yeah, they didn't do too well tonight, but that doesn't mean they're going to come out and come to blazing and trying to get in the playoffs. And you know, they've improved a lot. They got some guys that can run. They got guys that can touch the ball and score in a heartbeat. So they're going to play physical. They're going to play tough. So that coach has done a great job there, Coach Fritz, and you know, so looking forward to that challenge. And, you know, I kind of hope that we get to play somebody outside of our conference. That'd probably be my only thing, you know. And but again, I can see it kind of going anywhere. I mean, again, I think the one thing I've seen, I've been in a lot of places. I've been in Southern California, been in North Carolina, and, you know, high school and college, and, you know, Northern Virginia now. And the one thing I've noticed here, I may have been some places where there's a little more talent, but as far as the coaching goes, I mean, it's great coaching, you know, across the board. Everybody's well coached. They're fundamentally sound. They don't give up things. And, you know, that's what makes it challenging and fun, you know. So, just looking forward to the challenge. And like I said, we just got to focus though this week and put us in a good position to hopefully get a decent seed. So we got to handle our business this week and go 1-0 against Mount Vernon, and that'll be our focus.
Well, Coach Ross, you've done such a good job with West Post since you've been there. Obviously, you've kind of elevated that program, put it in the mix with some of the best in the area. I want to thank you again for coming on the show, and congratulations on the win tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Again, that's Jeremiah Ross, the head coach of the West Potomac Wolverines. His team with the big win tonight, knocking off South County, one of the few upsets we had on the docket tonight. Let's go ahead and run down your top 20 while we got you. We'll get to our first break after that. But again, a lot of upsets tonight, really kind of affecting what could be happening playoff-wise in the area. Again, we'll do that right now here on the Final Drive. Again, I'm Jeremy Huber here with you Friday nights. We plan to be with you for the rest of the season up until I believe the night before the Virginia State Championships, when we'll probably wind the show down, but should be fun. Had a few hiatuses, but we're back, and we hope to be back with you for the next few Fridays, keep you up to date on everything going on in the high school sports, the football world in the DMV. So make sure you tune us in. Let's go and start with that top 20, the All-Met Sports top 20. DeMatha Idle, their next game on November 4th against number 20, Good Counsel. Number 2, Wise plays tomorrow against Bladensburg in a 2 p.m. start. Number 3, Damascus, in their rivalry game with Seneca Valley. It was all Damascus in this one at 59-21 as Damascus head coach Eric Wallach got his 100th career win as the Swarming Hornets moved to 9-0. Turnovers played a role in this one, some early ones really that Seneca Valley just couldn't recover from. Number 4, St. John's in action at McNamara tomorrow in a 2 p.m. start. Number 5, Gonzaga is at Carroll tomorrow in a 2 p.m. start. Number 6, Old Mill, they will play host. They won tonight against Meade 44-8. Old Mill 9-0. They're right now the top seed. Actually, they are not the top seed in 4A East as of right now. That currently belongs to Annapolis, who actually is in front of, Old Mill did overtake them, so just by percentage points, but really next week's game between the Patriots of Old Mill and the Panthers of Annapolis, that'll be for the top spot in 4A East. Should be a very good one in that matchup. Number 7, Sherwood, looking like they've got the inside track for the top spot in 4A North. With what happened tonight. We'll get to that in just 1 second. But Sherwood, a big win tonight, 9-0 on the season as they beat Kennedy 64-8. It was number 8, South Lakes, falling to Hayfield 38-28. We'll hear from the head coach of Hayfield, Eric Henderson, coming up on the show in just a bit. Number 9, Quince Orchard, a big win over Whitman tonight, 59-20. Number 10, Episcopal, they'll take on St. Albans tomorrow. Number 11, Howard, they went down to defeat, falling to Glen Elg 25-20. So that's what we're referring to. Howard and Sherwood kind of neck and neck for that top spot in Maryland 4A North. Looks like it is Sherwood's to lose now after Howard goes down. It breaks Howard's 32-game win streak in Howard County. Glen Elg doing the honors. We'll hear from the head coach of the Gladiators, Butch Schaefer, coming up on the show. We mentioned it, West Potomac with the upset win. Jeremiah Ross's crew beats number 12 South County 24-21 tonight. Number 13 Spalding, they fall to St. Francis 32-29. That was a matchup between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the Baltimore area. Actually, the Baltimore Suns rankings, that was the top 2 teams. Spalding was number 1. St. Francis was number 2 in those rankings. Spalding, they fall in the matchup tonight against St. Francis. St. Francis kind of seen as the big power now, with Gilman kind of going by the wayside. Of course, Spalding's only other loss this year came to Good Counsel earlier in the season. Number 14, Lake Braddock, no trouble for them as they beat Mount Vernon by a count of 57-0. So the Bruins kind of getting back on the good foot tonight as they were able to go ahead and beat Mount Vernon by that big score. Of course, Lake Braddock moving forward, very good chance to win their conference is their only loss on the season, coming to Centerville earlier in the year. So a non-conference loss, so a good chance for them to take home the title in their conference. We'll see if the Bruins are able to do it. Number 15, of course, they have to play South County next week. Number 15, Georgetown Prep. They take on Landon tomorrow. They host Landon at a 2 p.m. start. Number 16, Woodgrove, big over Rock Ridge tonight, 63-12. Number 17, Madison pulled away from Washington Lee. Madison with a chance to force a three-way tie in their conference with Hayfield and South Lakes next week. Of course, Hayfield, the only team without a loss in conference so far. Number 18, Annapolis. They do their part for their matchup with Old Mill next week, beating Glen Burnie 40-15. Number 19, Oxon Hill over Friendly 33-19 as the Clippers stay unbeaten. And it was number 20, Good Counsel, beating St. Mary's Riken tonight by a count of 51-15. And that's your look at the top All Met Sports Top 20. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back and get you up to date on everything going on in Maryland and Virginia, also your private schools, and we'll get you up to date on what happened yesterday, a few games in D.C. We'll do it all coming up. We'll also hear from a few more of our guests on the show tonight. Head coach of the Hayfield Hawks, Eric Henderson, after their big win over South Lakes tonight. Also, we'll check in with the head coach of the Glenelg Gladiators, Butch Schaefer, after his team's big win over Howard. It's all coming up here on the final drive. Remember, if you want to tweet us, go ahead and do it. Use at DMVStream, use the hashtag #TheFinalDrive. Again, that's DMVStream, hashtag it with The Final Drive. I'm Jeremy Huber. This is The Final Drive. We'll have more coming up right after this. Looking for some of the best barbecue in the area? Well, then come on down to Monk's. Monk's Barbecue has all your favorites. Delicious pulled pork, tender, moist brisket, and dry rubbed ribs that just fall off the bone, as well as specialty items like pulled chicken, pastrami, and Kansas City burnt ends. Add in delicious sides like Monk's Special Baked Beans, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, vinegar coleslaw, and many more, and you can't get any better. That's Monk's Barbecue in the heart of Loudoun County, online at monksq.com. That's monks and the letter Q.com. And go to their Facebook page to find out more about their live music and drinks.
DMVSTREAM.com produces live broadcasts for professional, semi-pro, and amateur sporting events, as well as colleges, universities, high schools, AAU, and youth tournaments in the Mid-Atlantic. With a client list that includes ESPN, The Washington Post, Monumental Sports Network, CBS.com, USAFootball.com, USLacrosse.org, NCAA.com, the National Federation of High School Sports, and Georgetown University, among others, Synthesis Multimedia has emerged as the Mid-Atlantic's top provider of sports multimedia. Contact us today to learn more about streaming your events live.
Are you a fan of high school sports? Does high school sports attract the type of customers you want for your business? If so, then consider advertising here on The Final Drive. The Final Drive on DMVStream.com is a weekly show dedicated to high school football in the District, Maryland, and Virginia. We update scores and talk to the movers and shakers from Friday night's top games, and we preview the big matchups from Saturday's action. So consider being a part of The Final Drive. For more information about advertising on The Final Drive, contact Jeremy Huber at jrh0001@gmail.com. That's jrh0001@gmail.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all-new season of Top Plays here at allmetsports.com and washingtonpost.com. I'm your host, BJ Kubarowitz. Now, as we've done the past 4 seasons, we're continuing our exciting interactive high school football show that allows you, the coaches, players, parents, and fans, and others, to send in your video submissions for ranking in our Top 10 style weekly show. If you want to see your highlight in this show, well, it's as simple as tweeting your boy. I'm at BJ Koob. You got to remember to hashtag it, All Mets. All right, you can tweet in your Huddle, YouTube, Vimeo, really any video link by Sundays at noon, and we'll consider it for use in the upcoming episode of Top Plays. Now, you got to remember to tune in on Mondays to see if your video made our Top 10 at allmetsports.com. We'll see you soon.
And welcome back into The Final Drive here on DMVStream.com. I'm Jeremy Huber. So glad to have you along as we break down everything that went on tonight in the world of high school football in the DMV. Coming up in just a bit, we'll hear from the head coach of the Glenelg Gladiators, Butch Schaefer, as his team with a big win tonight, knocking off Howard by a score of with their win tonight, beating the Howard Lions, knocking them from the ranks of the unbeaten tonight as Howard went down by a count of 25-20. Glenelg gets the win. The 11th ranked Lions go down, and they also snap the winning streak of the Lions, an 11-game win streak. So a big one tonight for Glenelg. We'll go ahead and let's get you up to date on that one in just a second. Want to run down some scores for you. Some private school action. Pilati with a win over Archbishop Curley, 35-0. Avalon with a nice win tonight as they beat Riverdale Baptist 26-6. Over in Maryland, Aberdeen with a win over Springbrook 46-6 tonight. It was Blair moving to 8-1 with a comeback win against Einstein 46-28. Blair scored the 20 unanswered to close out the game. Calvert beats Westlake in a big one, 21-14. It was Wild Lake over Centennial, 14-12. North Point over Huntingtown, 35-7. Lackey beat La Plata, 42-6. Chopticon over Leonardtown, 37-0. Reservoir pulled the upset, beating Longreach 20-13. Longreach only lost one on the season last week to Howard. They lose again 20-13 tonight as the Gators get the job done. Poolsville winner over Magruder tonight, 41-6. It was Northern over McDonough, 43-33. Northwest beat Clarksburg, 41-10. Athelton over Oakland Mills, 24-19. Paint Branch beat Northwood 62-12. It was Patuxent over Thomas Stone 43-6. Chesapeake over Southern 42-0. St. Charles beat Great Mills 24-7. Walter Johnson down Bethesda Chevy Chase 36-14. Blake beat Watkins Mill 44-6. Rockville over Wheaton 24-13. It was Churchill over Wooten. It was Wooten over Churchill, by a score of 46-31. That's your Maryland scores. Got a few outliers. We'll get you up to date on those when we get those in. But, of course, big one over Maryland tonight was Glenelg. Of course, good program under Butch Schaefer. They knock off number 11 Howard tonight, 25-20, ending Howard's 32-game in-county win streak. After the game was over, I had a chance to catch up with the head coach of the Glenelg Gladiators, that is, Butch Schaefer. Well, Coach Schaefer, I'm not going to call it a monumental upset because you got yourself a pretty quality program, but anytime you take down a team who's won 32 straight games in a county, it's a big deal. First off, congratulations on the big win.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And obviously a really good Howard program under Coach Bruce Strunk. How are you guys able to do it?
Our kids play with tremendous effort and intensity. And Howard's a tremendous football team, and we knew we had to match, their style of play. And I was really, really proud of our kids in the way they stepped up to the challenge.
Tell us a bit about the game. How did it kind of go? It looked like early on they kind of had it. You guys put a little comeback on, correct?
It was a back and forth game pretty much the whole game. Tremendous high school football game. Two teams that played really, really hard and have a ton of respect for each other. And we had a couple breaks here and there, a couple big plays, and those kind of things. But our offensive line did a tremendous job, controlling the line of scrimmage, and that was key to the game.
Yeah, obviously you got some good guys on that line of scrimmage for you, some big mooses up front, and obviously Howard's been a big play team over the last few years. How are you guys able to hold them down, really keep them down to 20 points in the game?
Our kids did a great job tackling in open field, and they have explosive athletes all over the place and extremely well coached. We knew we had to try to prevent the big plays, and our defensive staff did a tremendous job, coming with a game plan to try to slow them down a little bit because there's no way you're going to stop.
But you did slow them down. A 25-20 score. Glenelg pulls the upset, hands Howard their first loss of the year. Their first loss breaks their 32-game win streak in Howard County. We talk about it, Coach. I think we had you on the show earlier in the year, and you and Coach Strunk kind of said the same thing. There's a lot of good football in our county, and it may not show it right away, but there's some parity here too, and you kind of see it tonight. How good of a brand of football and how hard fought are those games you guys have in Howard County?
Hey, there's a lot of tremendous football programs, and it's a battle each and every week. And, if you don't, play your best game, in a given week, you're going to lose the football game. And it's, tremendous compliment to all the coaches who do, a tremendous job in our county, preparing our kids and making our kids better each week.
And Coach, obviously this puts you guys in great position for a playoff run. It may shoot you up the standings just a little bit. You got one game left, but how do you see things moving forward as you move towards the playoffs?
We're going to keep, taking one step at a time and try to get better every week. And we're going to enjoy this for tonight, and we're going to get back to the grind next week, and hopefully we continue to improve and move forward. Yeah,
and obviously you guys have been there before. Does it help having a program that has kind of seen how the playoffs are in Maryland? Again, it's so different. I'm over in Virginia where they have so many teams make it. Where you guys are, it's only 4 teams. Yes, a lot of times you'll see teams you play during the regular season. How do you go about that going into a playoffs where instead of maybe having teams that have no idea what you're doing, they may know exactly what you're trying to do?
Hey, I'm really fortunate to work with a great group of kids that, give me maximum effort every week. And, it's a challenge. I mean, our kids are, used to making the playoffs, they're used to competing, at that level. And, it's just trying to get them to buy it, to step up to the next challenge. You know what I mean? And Howard plays with such intensity. And that was our, motto all week. You have to match their intensity to be successful. And, we emulate, some of the stuff that they're trying to do. Like, they're a tremendously, well-coached team, and they work hard as heck. And it's a tremendous football team, and I definitely wish them the best the rest of the way.
And, Coach, one last one, we'll let you go. You look at that one today. It is a rivalry game, a really cool trophy as well, the Elgard Trophy. Talk about how happy your guys to be able to hoist that one in the air after the win.
I mean, it was a great feeling for me to see my kids, get rewarded for all their effort that they put in during the 48 minutes. I mean, I'm extremely proud for our community, and to bring the trophy home again is a tremendous feeling. And it's been missing for a couple of years, and the home is still waiting for it to be put in on Monday morning. So, hey, we're going to enjoy it tonight, and we'll move forward next week, and improve as much as we can improve every week.
And, Coach, I saw a video a little bit. One of the reporters took a video of your guys, kind of a big dog pile in the middle of the field. Seems like just unabated joy out there. Was there any part of you worried, hey, guys, we got a playoff run coming up. I don't want you guys to hurt each other in celebration?
Hey, it definitely goes through your head. But, hey, I was really happy to see our kids finally get to enjoy one of those big wins. And, they put in a lot of work, throughout the summer. And, the off season, and it's really nice for a coach. And that's the best part of being a coach is you get to see your kids enjoy, some of the great things like that. So, I mean, I was very happy to see it for them.
Well, you should be. Coach Butch Schaefer, head coach at Glen Elk. Big win tonight. They knock off Howard, knocked off the ranked Lions, and end their 32-game winning streak in Howard County. Coach, congratulations on the big win, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Hey, thank you very much, and you have a good night.
Head coach Butch Schaefer, the Glen Elk Gladiators, here on the final drive on DMVSTREAM.com. Another good show tonight. Going to be joined in just a bit by the head coach of the Dominion Titans, Carl Buckwalter. His team with a big win tonight out in Loudoun County, knocking off Heritage, putting themselves in really good position for a pretty high seed in 4A playoffs. Of course, you may know Coach Buckwalter from his turnaround jobs at McLean, also Colonial Forge as well. So we will chat with him coming up after this. We'll also get you up to date on all the scores from Virginia. We'll do it right after this. Remember, you're listening to the final drive on DMVStream.com. Want to tweet us? Go ahead and do it. Tweet at DMVStream, hashtag it with the final drive. Again, that's DMVStream, hashtag it with the final drive. We'll be right back.
Looking for some of the best barbecue in the area? Well, then come on down to Monk's. Monk's Barbecue has all your favorites: delicious pulled pork, tender, moist brisket, and dry rubbed ribs that just fall off the bone, as well as specialty items like pulled chicken, pastrami, and Kansas City burnt ends. Add in delicious sides like Monk's special baked beans, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, vinegar coleslaw, and many more, and you can't get any better. That's Monk's Barbecue in the heart of Loudoun County, online at monksq.com. That's monks and the letter Q.com. And go to their Facebook page to find out more about their live music and drinks. DMVSTREAM.com produces live broadcasts for professional, semi-pro, and amateur sporting events, as well as colleges, universities, high schools, AAU, and youth tournaments in the Mid-Atlantic. With a client list that includes ESPN, The Washington Post, Monumental Sports Network, CBS.com, USAFootball.com, USLacrosse.org, NCAA.com, the National Federation of High School Sports, and Georgetown University, among others, Synthesis Multimedia has emerged as the Mid-Atlantic's top provider of sports multimedia. Contact us today to learn more about streaming your events live.
Are you a fan of high school sports? Does high school sports attract the type of customers you want for your business? If so, then consider advertising here on The Final Drive. The Final Drive on DMVSTREAM.com is a weekly show dedicated to high school football in the District, Maryland, and Virginia. We update scores and talk to the movers and shakers from Friday night's top games, and we preview the big matchups from Saturday's action. So consider being a part of The Final Drive. For more information about advertising on The Final Drive, contact Jeremy Huber at jrh0001@gmail.com. That's jrh0001@gmail.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all-new season of Top Plays here at allmetsports.com and WashingtonPost.com. I'm your host, BJ Kubarulis. Now, as we've done the past 4 seasons, we're continuing our exciting interactive high school football show that allows you, the coaches, players, parents, and fans, and others, to send in your video submissions for ranking in our Top 10 style weekly show. If you want to see your highlight in this show, well, it's as simple as tweeting your boy. I'm at BJ Koob. You got to remember to hashtag it, Ole Mets. All right, you can tweet in your Huddle, YouTube, Vimeo, really any video link by Sundays at noon, and we'll consider it for use in the upcoming episode of Top Plays. Now, you got to remember to tune in on Mondays to see if your video made our top 10 at allmetsports.com. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back into The Final Drive. The guests coming fast and furious tonight. Lucky enough right now to be joined by the head coach of the Dominion Titans, who moved to 7-2 on the season with a win over Heritage tonight. Carl Buckwalter joins us on the show. Coach, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
And Coach, obviously your guys have really done some good things this year. You only have 2 losses on your plate to a really good Woodgrove team and a good Potomac Falls team. We'll get into that. But again, I think people know you guys can do some things, but you shut down a pretty good Heritage team tonight with a pretty good quarterback in Alex Carlin. Talk about your defensive performance first.
Well, our strength in this week was on, because we played Heritage over the years, and was to come out of the gate. First of all, we got to come out of the gate rather than let them come out of the gate. So taking the opening kickoff for a touchdown was huge for us. So that pretty much set the tone. But we know Carlin is last year he's the player of the year offensively, and he's got a nice arm, and he can really, he can wiggle and make people miss. We settled our kids down at practice, and we gave them basically, honed in and drilled down on alignment and assignment. And the kids did a phenomenal job of executing the game plan, basically both offensively and defensively. So, we can play some defense in tight territory. We take a lot of pride in that.
Most definitely you do. You also take pride in having a pretty good offensive playmaker under center in your own right in Vashawn McCants. Talk about his performance tonight. Had some big runs, had some big passes. Really did it all for you.
He did. He always does. And the cast around him is tremendous as well. I mean, we have George Richardson, we have Billy Walker, we have Jason Robinson. They all do a phenomenal job, and Alex Worth had a great game tonight. But the thing is, Vashawn is really, truly done and taken a hold of is, and Coach Trump gets a lot of credit working with him as quarterback coach, is Vashawn can throw the football. I mean, he can really throw. So it's not just a wildcat. I mean, we don't even call it. He's a tremendous quarterback. He makes people miss. And he keeps the plays alive, and our kids they know he can make the plays and keep things going. But he is really turning into a weapon as far as with his legs and with his arm. So that's going to carry over and take us
hopefully deep in the playoffs.
And obviously, that's kind of becoming the norm at Dominion. Coach, I served my early tenure in this broadcasting business in Leesburg at a radio station, and boy, was that Dominion program bad. It just was not a good football program, and you've really turned things around. What were you able to do? We know, obviously, what you did at McLean, what you did at some of the other places on your resume, but what were you able to do to kind of turn things around in Sterling and make this Dominion program into a winning program?
Well, first of all, surround myself with great coaches. I mean, our staff is phenomenal, and they do a fantastic job. And I think the biggest thing that turned us around was buying into the weight room. Our kids work hard. I mean, as soon as football season is over and officially we've turned in our stuff, we start. I don't give them a break. I mean, we go up for work. Like last year, we got beat. We won our last game, but we didn't make the playoffs by .03, and we emphasized that. We went right to work November 30th. And, Coach Trump and the other coaches, one of their sayings they brought into Dominion is the life expectancy of a football team is 1 year. And once that's done, you're starting anew. And so our birthday is November 30th. That's what we call it. That's when we started, and this team was born. So every year we've been doing that, and our kids really they bought into the weight room. They come in at 7 a.m. in the morning, for 4 days a week, and they're working hard. And they have bought into the weight room program. Our community, our parents, they've bought into what we're doing as well. So you got to give all those people credit for taking a chance and going, okay, I'm gonna have my son there. 6:30, 6:45, ready to go for 4 days a week. So I got to give a lot of credit to the parents and community, and of course Dr. Brewer and Mr. Fleming, who blessed me with the opportunity to try and get this thing going. And right now, it's fun to be a Titan right now. It really is. But we do a lot of work. Kids work hard.
Most definitely. And I want to get to Coach Fleming. I was kind of looking up your bio. I'd known that you had been at McLean. I didn't know that Joe Fleming, your athletic director, had actually been an assistant AD at McLean. So there was a connection there. And I remember you kind of coming along and seeing your resume and going, this seems like a little bit of a lower job than he probably could get. Do you think you would have ended up at Dominion if not for the previous relationship that you had with Joe Fleming?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I didn't know that Joe, because I was in the corporate world for 5 years, and I was an assistant with some of the other coaches that were on my staff previously. They let me go and help out and keep my foot in the door. It was a call actually from Mickey Thompson, who's my buddy. And I've known Mickey since when he was way back at Parkview and I was at McLean. And he called me up in December of 2008. And he said that Dominion's open. And I said, I don't know anything about it. He said, they're not real good right now, but you'll be fine there. You ought to take a shot. And he said, I know you want to get back in. So I was like, oh, okay. And I looked it up, and then Mickey, of course, then said, oh, yeah, Fleming, who was the assistant AD, he's the AD now. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I got the opportunity to interview, and Dr. Brewer and Mr. Fleming, they believed in me, and I gave them a vision. And, here I am 9 seasons later. I'm still here. I love it. It's a great place. We call it Kings Dominion. We have so much fun. That's what it is.
Well, that's definitely different than the old days at Dominion. One more for you with Carl Buckwalter, head coach of the Dominion Titans, after their win tonight over Heritage to move to 7-2 on the season. Coach, obviously, you mentioned it, didn't make the playoffs last year. You're trying to get in and get the best seed you can. You're kind of sitting there, I believe, if my math and everything is correct, you guys do the 12 teams make it in your region, correct?
That is correct, and we are the only region in the state that has 12. Everybody else is 16. So it's tough to get in. That's why last year at .03, and the kids, they're tired of us as coaches. We were saying that November 30th. We preach it, and we hammered it home, and for the extra work, we tell the kids you can't depend on the undependable. You got to depend on yourself. So we got to win more games. So 6-4. At Dominion, it's no longer good enough. It used to be good, but it's no longer good enough. So that's what we've been preaching. And our new birthday, November 30th, and there's only 12 now that can get in. So we got to be Parkview next week and find out who we're playing and where we're playing.
And Coach, we'll let you out on this one. How do you think your team's stacking up right now as you kind of move through into the playoff push?
Well, I think with anything, every coach wants their team to progress and get better. And I think each week we've taken that next step. And tonight we were firing on all cylinders. Our kids were, they're exciting to watch. And they score. We can score a bunch of points, and we got some weapons. And Deshaun has really taken a lot. Coach Strauss credit. He works hard with our kids, and especially with Deshaun on throwing the football and being a quarterback and not just a wildcat. And in the beginning when we made the switch, he was a wildcat. I mean, there was that formation he brought, but now, there's things in there, and he's embraced it, and he stays after practice, and he works hard with the receivers and works hard in the formations, and it's really starting to pay dividends. So we're very, very excited about the possibilities ahead.
Well, Coach, I know you're excited, but there's a lot of folks in Sterling and Loudoun County excited about what you've been able to do with that Dominion program. Another win tonight over Heritage by a big margin. Again, Carl Buckwalter, head coach of the Dominion Titans, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me on. Take care.
You as well, Coach. Yeah, I tell you, Carl Buckwalter has done some really good stuff. Of course, won at McLean when really nobody's won at McLean, actually a McLean graduate. So he's really done some good things, did some good things there, moved on to Colonial Forge, now at Dominion, and really has got that thing humming. I mean, Woodgrove under another state championship caliber coach and Mike Skinner, really the top dog in the lower level of Loudoun County this year, but Dominion probably the number 2 team, and they might be able to make some noise in the playoffs as well. Let's stay with Virginia. Go ahead and get into our scores from there. Battlefield a winner tonight over Stonewall Jackson, 36-16. Elsewhere, it was Potomac of Virginia over Brook Point, 21-3. Elsewhere, tonight it was Champ pulling away from Loudoun County, winning 60-21. That was actually a close one into the second half, and Champ blew it open. Centerville bounces back with a win over Chantilly, 44-21. McLean over Fairfax tonight, 28-20. Freedom of Woodbridge, of course, they're looking for a deep playoff run this year as actually the highest ranked team. Remember, that's in 6A South, where you have some of the southern teams in Prince William County. They go south with your teams in Virginia Beach and Richmond and those. Freedom of Prince William, they're in right now pretty good playoff shape, especially after tonight with a big win over Woodbridge, 40-0 in that one for the Eagles as they go ahead and get the win. Elsewhere tonight in Virginia, it was Forest Park over Garfield, 28-24. Dominion, of course, as we mentioned, a 44-14 winner tonight over Heritage. Wakefield, big over Jefferson, 57-6. Manassas Park over Kettle Run, 21-7. Yorktown edged Langley, 21-20. Lee over Edison, 36-26. Brentsville over Liberty, 28-20. It was Oakton over Falls Church, 43-36. Loudoun Valley, blank Parkview, 21-0. It was Patriot over Osborne Park, 49-14. Riverbend beat Hilton, 34-28. Freedom of South Riding over Riverside, 51-14. It was Broad Run with a nice win over Robinson at 28-7. Remember, big with Broad Run is they'll now be able to, at least according to reports, be able to clinch their conference 14, with a win next week over Tuscarora. That because of Potomac Falls loss to Stonebridge tonight. Broad Run, of course, beat Stonebridge earlier in the season. Stonebridge beating Potomac Falls 35-23 tonight. Potomac Falls with that win, they could have gone ahead and won the district. Looks like now, though, Broad Run with a good chance to go ahead and claim that win. Marshall, a winner over Stewart, 41-21. It was W.T. Woodson over West Springfield tonight, 34-23. And Westfield, of course, not ranked. First time in a long time. Westfield, of course, after they got knocked out of the poll a couple weeks ago, but still unranked as the Bulldogs a win tonight over Herndon, 48-7. Well, we've talked to most of the folks who pulled the big upsets tonight. We'll talk to another coach whose team pulled a big upset. That would be Eric Henderson. his Hayfield Hawks knocked off South Lakes, number 8 team in the All-Met Sports poll. We'll hear from Coach Henderson right after this. I'm Jeremy Huber, and this is The Final Drive. If you want to hit us up, do it via Twitter, DMVStream, hashtag it with The Final Drive. Again, that's DMVStream, hashtag it with The Final Drive. We'll be right back after this.
Looking for some of the best barbecue in the area? Well, then come on down to Monk's. Monk's Barbecue has all your favorites: delicious pulled pork, tender, moist brisket, and dry rubbed ribs that just fall off the bone, as well as specialty items like pulled chicken, pastrami, and Kansas City burnt ends. Add in delicious sides like Monk's special baked beans, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, vinegar coleslaw, and many more, and you can't get any better. That's Monk's Barbecue in the heart of Loudoun County, online at monksq.com. That's monks and the letter Q.com. And go to their Facebook page to find out more about their live music and drinks.
DMVSTREAM.com produces live broadcasts for professional, semi-pro, and amateur sporting events, as well as colleges, universities, high schools, AAU, and youth tournaments in the Mid-Atlantic. With a client list that includes ESPN, The Washington Post, Monumental Sports Network, CBS.com, USAFootball.com, USLacrosse.org, NCAA.com, the National Federation of High School Sports, and Georgetown University, among others, Synthesis Multimedia has emerged as the Mid-Atlantic's top provider of sports multimedia. Contact us today to learn more about streaming your events live.
Are you a fan of high school sports? Does high school sports attract the type of customers you want for your business? If so, then consider advertising here on The Final Drive. The Final Drive on DMVStream.com is a weekly show dedicated to high school football in the District, Maryland, and Virginia. We update scores and talk to the movers and shakers from Friday night's top games, and we preview the big matchups from Saturday's action. So consider being a part of The Final Drive. For more information about advertising on The Final Drive, contact Jeremy Huber at jrh0001@gmail.com. That's jrh0001@gmail.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all-new season of Top Plays here at allmetsports.com and washingtonpost.com. I'm your host, BJ Kubarowicz. Now, as we've done the past 4 seasons, we're continuing our exciting interactive high school football show that allows you, the coaches, players, parents, and fans, and others, to send in your video submissions for ranking in our Top 10 style weekly show. If you want to see your highlight in this show, well, it's as simple as tweeting your boy. I'm at BJ Koob. You got to remember to hashtag it, Ole Mets. All right, you can tweet in your Huddle, YouTube, Vimeo, really any video link by Sundays at noon, and we'll consider it for use in the upcoming episode of Top Plays. Now, you got to remember to tune in on Mondays to see if your video made our top 10 at allmetsports.com. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back into The Final Drive on DMVStream.com. A few new finals in. Bishop Ireton a winner tonight over Paul VI, 20-17. Severn School beat John Carroll 36-24. St. Mary's of Annapolis a winner over St. Paul's 38-14. It was Arundel over South River tonight, 41-6. We'll run down the entire list of the scores that we have. Also may check in on the PowerPoints, any shakeups in those. We'll do that coming up. But first, want to check in with our final interview of the night. We talked about all the big upsets tonight. There were so many of them. Teams going down in the All-Met Sports Top 20 included number 8 South Lakes, number 11 Howard, number 12 South County, and number 13 Spalding, all going down to defeat. Highest ranked of those teams, again, South Lakes, a team that knocked them off. The Hayfield Hawks had a chance to catch up with their head coach, Eric Henderson, earlier tonight. Well, Coach Henderson, big win for you guys tonight. You knock off South Lakes, really put yourself in the driver's seat to go ahead and win the conference championship. First off, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
And obviously tonight you guys come into this one, I think it would be fair to say you guys were kind of the overlooked team in this triumvirate. When you talk about South Lakes and Madison both ranked throughout the year, you guys just kind of line in the weeds, but you're able to go ahead and put out the performance today. Let's start off there. Do you think your kids had a chip on their shoulder because no one was kind of giving them the love, at least outside the program?
Sure. We've been talking for the past couple of weeks, what do we have to do to you know, I don't want to say get the recognition, but maybe that's where I'm trying to go. What do we have to do? You know, I mean, we can put 100 points on people if we want to, but is that? I mean, I don't think that's ethical. I mean, at some point, you know, you gotta. I kept telling the kids, at some point, you gotta just prove it. And I thought, you know, this was a great night to prove that we were a pretty good football team. And as I told the kids as they were losing their minds on the sidelines, you know, I didn't feel like this was an upset. It felt like, you know, we beat them. And you know, upsets are, you know, you get a fluky turnover, or, you know, something weird happens, or, you know, I felt like we did what we needed to do to win, and we played in our schemes, and we do what we do. So.
Yeah, most definitely tonight. Let's start off with the quarterback, Jacob Keeney. From some of the stats I've seen, he was up around 300 yards passing, I believe, had a couple touchdowns as well. Talk about his performance.
Well, I mean, you know, Jake has really done a great job in our system, and he's, I think, you know, his attributes are his mind and his decision making, and you know, all the confidence that he has in his receivers, and that's just, you know, all of that timing and chemistry is just, you know, hard work and summer preparation and 7-on-7s, and, you know, just a lot of sweat and effort, and it you know, it pays off. So you know, I thought he had a great game, and I thought the defense played lights out too. I mean, you know, South Lakes can score, and I kept telling defense, you know, we're pretty good, and just because you give up a couple of points doesn't mean that we're bad. It's just sometimes when you play in a hurry-up offense, you put in situations that result in scores. But you know, overall, I thought we had pretty solid defense, and I thought they proved it. So, you know, as much as I'm pleased with Jake, I thought the entire team played well.
Coach, you mentioned defense, and it's funny, during the season, the preseason, I had a chance to interview Coach Taylor, and, you know, he really credited with some of the stuff they do with kind of that breaking the huddle and run the play real fast, from learning that from Coach Pannoni down at South County. Did it help you guys playing South County earlier in the year, coming back against the South Lakes team that likes to do something similar to them?
No, I don't think our success against South Lakes is due to our playing South County. Our offense and defense go against each other every day. So, you know, I tend to think we run pretty fast too. And if you look at our total play count, I think we rip off more total plays than those other teams. We're in the same ballpark, but I think we play pretty fast ourselves. So, you know, there's a lot of guys that'll pat themselves on the back and talk about you know, what they do, but you know, we put up points. We've stopped people when we needed to. We've got better defensively. We didn't hurt ourselves on special teams. I thought the entire team played well. So I don't credit it with, you know, playing South County. I just think the kids did what they had to do, and they practiced hard this week.
Obviously, the head coach, Eric Henderson, head coach of the Hayfield Hawks, big win tonight as they knock off South Lakes, put themselves in the driver's seat for the conference championship. A few more with the coach. And obviously, you know, before you can get to that, you got a big one next week. Do you like the fact that you've got two big games back-to-back? Would you like to have them spread out, or is it, hey, this is the way the schedule is, let's play them?
I mean, I can't do anything about the schedule. I mean, my director of student activities, Mr. Nolan, E.W. Nolan, you know, set up my schedule. I thought it was a pretty good schedule. I mean, you know, our conference is our conference, and, you know, there's some teams that are down right now, but you got to play who's on your schedule. And Madison and South Lakes have certainly improved over the past several years. And, you know, I think we're in that conversation too. I mean, I'm pretty sure 2 years ago we won the district. You we played for a district championship last year against South Lakes. We were right there, until my quarterback broke his ankle. And I thought we were doing okay against Madison in the first half, but they were able to pull it out last year. But I always thought we were a good team and that we should be part of the conversation. I guess nobody else did, but I was certain that we'd be right there at the end of the season. So we're looking forward to playing Madison. They're a good program. Coach Schultz does a good job, and those are hard-nosed kids, and they play hard. And we'll practice what we practice, and we'll do what we do, and hopefully that'll be enough to win. And I think it will be. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll play it. We'll see. Right.
That's what you got to do. One last one for you, Coach. I know you've been around the whole northern region. You've seen it from all different angles, obviously, as a head coach, as an offensive play caller as well. Have you ever seen a year in this area with so much parity? We've seen so many good teams knock each other off. Has there ever been a year like this where it doesn't really seem like there's a clear-cut number one team?
Well, I think every area in Fairfax County or Northern Virginia, has an ebb and flow as far as talent goes. And, some of the top teams that have been traditionally up, maybe they've hit a pocket in talent where, they're just not what they were a couple of years ago. Maybe teams like South Lakes and ourselves have hit a pocket of talent where, you kind of raise the standard of excellence and the programs seem to be a little more than they are. But I'm still convinced Northern Region football is excellent football. And there's always going to be really good programs. Jim Poitras does a great job at Braddock. Coach Simmons at Westfield and Coach Haddock at Centerville. I mean, they do great jobs. And, we always talked about at Hayfield trying to be one of those top teams, trying to change the culture and get kids to expect greatness instead of just hoping that we'll have a winning season and a nice banquet and then collect all the gear. So, I don't know. Maybe it is down. I don't really care. We're playing well right now, and hopefully we can do what we need to do against Madison.
Well, Coach Henderson, good luck against Madison. And again, who knows? This might be the year for the Hayfield Hawks. You guys are playing some very good football right now. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks a lot.
Eric Henderson, the head coach of the Hayfield Hawks. Big win tonight. One of the few big upsets we saw on tonight. A lot of upsets tonight. And again, it's going to shake up the rankings in the top 20. Remember, there's games tomorrow as well, too. Don't look like any teams poised for upsets there, but you just never know in high school football. Second to last week of the season, we saw some shake-up tonight, a shake-up Friday. We may see some more on Saturday. We may see some next week headed into the playoffs. Let's go ahead and run down everything one last time for you tonight. We'll start off with the top 20. Number 1, DeMatha Idle. They play Good Counsel next week. Number 2, Wise. They're at Bladensburg tomorrow. Number 3, Damascus routed Seneca Valley 59-21 to move to 9-0 on the year. Number 4, St. John's at McNamara tomorrow. Number 5, Gonzaga at Carroll tomorrow. Number 6, Old Mill. They beat Meade 44-0 to move to 9-0 on the season. Number 7, Sherwood to 9-0 on the year with a 64-8 win over Kennedy. Number 8, South Lakes goes down to Hayfield 38-28. Number 9, Quince Orchard beat Whitman 59-20. It was number 10, Episcopal. They're at action tomorrow against St. Albans. Number 11, Howard fell to Glenelg 25-20, snapping the Lions' 32-game in-county win streak. Number 12, South County fell to West Potomac 24-21. Number 13, Spalding knocked off by St. Francis 32-29. Number 14, Lake Braddock over Mount Vernon 57-0. Number 15, Georgetown Prep take us on Landon tomorrow. Number 16, Woodgrove, they beat Rockridge 63-12. Number 17, Madison beat Washington Lee 34-17. Number 18 Annapolis over Glen Burnie 40-15. The Panthers are also undefeated. They take on Old Mill next week in what should be a barn burner over in Anne Arundel County. Number 19 Oxon Hill remains undefeated. They beat Friendly 33-19. Number 20 Good Counsel over St. Mary's Riken 51-15. Elsewhere, Pilati big over Archbishop Curley 35-0. Avalon over Riverdale Baptist 26-6. Bishop Ireton edged Paul VI 20-17. It was Severn School beating John Carroll 36-24. St. Mary's Annapolis over St. Paul's 38-14. On Thursday, Ballou routed Dunbar 46-6. Also on Thursday, Theodore Roosevelt beat McKinley 34-0. Over in Maryland, Aberdeen over Springbrook 46-6. Arundel beat South River 41-6. It was Blair moving to 8-1 with a 46-28 win over Einstein. Calvert beat Westlake 21-14. Wildlake knocked off Centennial 14-12. Richard Montgomery over Gaithersburg 28-12. Gwynn Park beat Largo in a big one for playoff positioning. Gwynn Park wins that one 18-6. North Point over Huntingtown 35-7. Lackey beat La Plata 42-6. Chopticon over Leonardtown 37-0. It was Reservoir upsetting Long Reach 20-13. Poolsville over Magruder 41-6. Northern beat McDonough 43-33. Northwest over Clarksburg 41-10. Athelton knocked off Oakland Mills 24-19. Paint Branch big over Northwood 62-12. Patuxent downed Thomas Stone 43-6. Chesapeake shut out Southern 42-0. It was St. Charles over Great Mills 34-7. Walter Johnson beat Bethesda Chevy Chase 36-14. Blake a big win over Watkins Mill 44-6. Rockville beat Wheaton 24-13. Wooten over Churchill 46-31. Over in Virginia, Battlefield over Stonewall Jackson 36-16. Potomac beat Brook Point 21-3. Champ over Loudoun County 60-21. Centerville down Chantilly 44-21. It was McLean over Fairfax 28-20. Freedom of Woodbridge shut out Woodbridge 40-0. Forest Park beat Garfield 28-24. George Mason fell to Madison County 42-24. Dominion beats Heritage 44-14. Wakefield over Jefferson 57-6. Manassas Park beat Kettle Run 21-7. Yorktown edged Langley 21-20. It was Lee over Edison 36-26. Brentsville beat Liberty 28-20. Oakton over Falls Church 43-36. Loudon Valley blanked Parkview 21-0. Patriot over Osborne Park 49-14. Riverbend down Hilton 34-28. Freedom of South Riding over Riverside 51-14. Broad Run down Robinson 28-7. Spartans with a good chance now to win their conference championship as Stonebridge beat Potomac Falls 35-23. It was Marshall over Stewart 41-21. W.T. Woodson down West Springfield 34-23. And it was Westfield over Herndon 48-7. Lots of games of note tomorrow. They include a noon start for Anacostia at H.D. Woodson. Annandale at T.C. Williams at 1 tomorrow. Potomac School hosts Boys Latin at 12 tomorrow. It's Broadneck at Severna Park, a 7 o'clock start. St. Stephen St. Agnes hosting Bullis tomorrow. Big one for St. Stephen St. Agnes's playoff chances. C.H. Flowers at Parkdale at 2 o'clock start. Crossland hosting Capital Christian at 2. Cardoza at Coolidge at 1. It's Surrattsville hosting Douglas at 2. Duval at Bowie at 2. Eastern goes to Wilson at 2. Big one for the Ramblers playoff chances in that one. Eleanor Roosevelt at Suitland. Big Maryland playoff potential game there and a 2 o'clock start. Central hosts Fairmont Heights at 2. Told you about Gonzaga at Carroll at 2 tomorrow. Georgetown Prep hosting Landon at 1:30. Laurel at Northwestern at 2. Bell hosting Phelps at noon tomorrow. River Hill at Hammond tomorrow at noon. St. James hosting Sidwell Friends at 2. St. Albans at Episcopal at 1. McNamara hosts St. John's at 2. Trinity Episcopal at O'Connell at 1. Wise goes to Bladensburg at 2. And Murray hosts Flint Hill at 12. That one very well could be for the MAC championship. Also want to take a quick look at your PowerPoints. Again, not too much shakeup in 6A South. C.D. Hilton was kind of near the bubble. Really hurt a little bit, but probably won't drop all the way out of playoff contention with 16 teams getting in. Prince William Freedom of Prince William County in a pretty good spot, came into the week about at the number 12 spot, so they should be just fine. Of course, 6A North, everything kind of going up and down there. We probably won't know exactly where everyone's going until the last week. In 5A North in Virginia, Potomac Falls was number 2. Stonebridge was number 4. They may flip-flop after the result tonight. Stonebridge beating Stonebridge beating Potomac Falls, that is. Broad Run should jump up as well. We'll see with the rest of the squads exactly where they end up. Schools like Potomac, R.E. Lee, also Jeb Stewart, Marshall, some of the teams down at the bottom trying to claw their way in to a playoff spot. Woodgrove winner tonight. They're on top of things in 4A West, so they should stay where they are. Some teams from down in the valley and in the Salem area chasing them. Dominion may boost themselves up with their win over Heritage tonight as well. Heritage, Loudoun Valley, Champ kind of all on the bubble. Heritage with loss tonight. Loudoun Valley and Champ with wins, trying to maintain their position. Over in Maryland, 4A West, Quince Orchard, Richard Montgomery, both winners tonight, as was Blair, as was Northwest. Einstein, Whitman both fall tonight, so some separation there. Einstein and Whitman were kind of breathing down Northwest's neck. Probably at this point, your top 4 teams will be in 4A West, Quince Orchard, Richard Montgomery, Blair, and Northwest in some order. In 4A South, Wise, Duval, Roosevelt, Flowers, Suitland also chasing as well, so some big games between those schools there. In 4A North, Sherwood and Howard, of course, we're split by just points. Now Sherwood breathe a little bit easier. They win tonight. Howard gets upset by Glen Elg. Over in 4A East, Old Mill, Annapolis, North Point, real kind of close together, especially Old Mill and Annapolis. That one will be decided next week with their game against each other. North Point a winner tonight, as was Broadneck. They're trying to hold off, and more Broadneck trying to hold off. North Point pretty safe in their power ranking right now. Broadneck trying to hold off Arundel, who's also a winner tonight. Chopstigan also a winner as they try to give chase. In 3A West, all Damascus, they'll be the top spot with some of the teams over in the Frederick County area. Seneca Valley probably hold on despite their loss tonight. Got a pretty big lead over Linganore, the team behind them in the last rankings. 3A South, Oxon Hill extending their big lead with their win tonight. Potomac, Blake, and Wheaton all kind of giving chase there. 3A East, some of the local teams there. Long Reach's loss could throw some things into chaos as Glen Elg pretty far back, but again, with their big win tonight over Howard, should move them up a little bit. Wild Lake, River Hill, Athlone, also going for playoff spots there. In 2A, it's Lackey, Patuxent, Calvert, Gwynn Park, and Largo. That's why that Gwynn Park win over Largo was so important tonight. Likely to put Gwynn Park into the playoffs. Lackey, Patuxent, Calvert, all winners tonight, so they look like they'll stay maybe where they're at. Could see some movement there, but again, could be some interesting things there. Of course, also WCAC looking pretty snug right now for DeMatha. We also talked about some of the other conferences. Of course, big game for Episcopal tomorrow as they'll have they go ahead and trying to position themselves for a win in the IAC to win that. As right now, Episcopal, Georgetown Prep both undefeated in conference play, so we'll see exactly what they're able to do. Some of the other independent conferences, we also mentioned that Murray and Flint Hill looking for a win tomorrow, likely lock up the MAC as well. So should be interesting the rest of the way. Remember, we'll be back next week, the last week of the season, as we'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the DMV. Should be a fun last week as playoff spots will be on the line. Conference championships will be on the line. We'll hopefully talk to a host of the movers and shakers from all around the area. Should be a fun week. Make sure you tune us in. We'll be going, we'll start the show off at 10:30. May start earlier, who knows, but it's probably a good bet we'll be on at 10:30. Make sure you check out the DMV Stream Twitter account. We'll let you know exactly where we're going to start. May go a little bit late, of course, with so many interviews in a situation like that. Try and go ahead and get on all the folks who maybe kind of a surprising playoff burst, all those different things. We try and cover the gamut on that last week of the season before we get into playoff time, and then it gets really fun in the area with everybody playing, and should be a fun way to close things out, especially in Virginia, folks. Boy, is it going to be a wild stretch to the finish with everybody beating everybody. A little more stratification in Maryland maybe, but boy, it's going to be fun in Virginia and also in D.C. Everywhere else, the private schools, we should have a blast, as we always do. But again, at the time where all these games count and you're playing for championships, it's always going to be fun. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Thank you to our guests as well. Dominion head coach Carl Buckwalter, his team routed Heritage tonight. Hayfield coach Eric Henderson, his team knocked off 8th-ranked South Lakes. West Potomac coach Jeremiah Ross also joined us, his team knocking off number 12 South County tonight. And it was Glenelg's Butch Schaefer as his team took down Howard of the 11th-ranked Lions, seeing their 32-game in-county win streak come to an end. I'm Jeremy Huber. This is The Final Drive, and we'll see you next week at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time to get you up to date on everything in the DMV when it comes to high school football.